As the conflict continues in Ukraine, Poland says it wants to formally propose a peacekeeping mission to be deployed in Ukraine at the NATO summit next week. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has also called for a ceasefire during a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Scholz has stressed that the humanitarian situation needs to be improved and progress is needed to find a diplomatic solution. The mayor of Kyiv says the West must not neglect them.
Take an active position. Support us with defensive weapons, with humanitarian help, with the economical isolation of Russia. And do it now. It's getting late already. We've been talking about it and observing that life is getting lost. Not just the infrastructure, life is getting lost. Mariupol, Kharkiv, Kherson, Bucha, Gostomel, we can count endlessly. Those cities are destroyed.
The U.S. Congress supports legislation to remove most favored nation status for Russia and Belarus over the invasion of Ukraine. They voted to end normal trade relations with Moscow and Minsk, paving the way for higher tariffs on imports from the countries.
Because Putin shows no sign of ceasing his horrible aggression, the Congress today will take another step in lockstep with many of our allies, as is the Biden administration, to tighten our stranglehold on the Russian economy.
This is one of the scenes of devastation in Mariupol, north of Ukraine, where a significant number of people have been displaced.
The devastation of this conflict has been vast. Even without a ceasefire, there are practical steps, though, that the parties must take now by respecting international humanitarian law to limit civilian suffering. Firstly, concrete agreements that would allow safe passage out of cities like Mariupol.
Meanwhile, Russia has appealed to the United Nations and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe to investigate the activities of biological laboratories in Ukraine. Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.